Yes, well, we're actually very excited because, when we started this last year sometime, we were talking about our intentions or interest of bidding for the Commonwealth Games. And obviously, in February, the decision was made, we submitted a bid. And September this year, we were awarded the Games. So we're quite excited because it's coming to Africa for the first time. Obviously, there's a large number of members of the Commonwealth Games. And we really believe that we've got 7 years of really maximize the potential that it comes with in terms of marketing. And obviously here in the UK, there's a huge awareness around the whole Commonwealth brand. And we will certainly be investing quite a lot of resources in promoting ourselves as a city, as well as a province and the country. The fact that the games are coming to Africa for the first time, it really means that there's going to be a lot of spotlight that's going to be put on KwaZulu-Natal as a province and the city in terms of the media that's going to follow the preparations and all that. And therefore, it's an opportunity to showcase our ability and all the experiences that are sort of there. I must say also that we were very much part of the preparations for the FIFA World Cup. Obviously, we hosted all the games up to a semi-final level. And also, we're very fortunate because of that, we already 80% of the infrastructure is already in place. We've also been playing in the international space in terms of hosting some of the global events. We've hosted the FINA, we've hosted a couple of other big global events. And we really then do believe that we are very much geared up towards hosting an event of this magnitude. Basically, the main thing is that firstly, these are going to be very compact games because the whole games area is about 2.5 kilometer radius. So basically, it's going to be very compact, which makes it for very good and exciting because remember there's big sports and small sports, but you can be able to bring people within a walking distance and come and experience the different types of games that are actually going to be played. I think it's only the shooting, if I'm not mistaken, that's going to be taking outside of the city itself, as well as also the biking, because we've got a bike city in Pietermaritzburg where we've hosted a whole lot of UCI event there. So that area has established itself into the infrastructure. I think insofar as the additions to the infrastructure, I think it's mainly refurbishments that we have to do, realignment of certain infrastructure, and also just upgrading some of the facilities. But if you were to say, let's host the games tomorrow, I'm saying to you, probably about 80% of what we need is already there in place. So there's going to be very little building from the ground of infrastructure. Well, the games is quite important for us also. Remember, social cohesion comes from the whole spirit of the game, because you may disagree as the people like in any other country, but it doesn't matter what you disagree on. But when it comes to the national teams and the participating country, the whole country is united. So from that point of view, we really see it as a good opportunity for us to develop our sports, athleticism, and also there's a whole program of development that's going to be put in place. If you consider that we've got about 7 years of doing that, which means kids that are as young as 14, 13 years old now, they have an opportunity of representing their country in front of their home crowd in 2022. And that's the exciting part, and the ability to build and mold your talent over this next time. That is outside of preparing for the infrastructure, because at the end of the day, the whole excitement is going to come from the team from the country actually winning and collecting medals. Well, when it comes to airlift, I think basically it has always been our stated objective that we want to improve that. As you know, we've had historical challenges in that the old airport that we had a very short runway. It was built in the 50s, but what we never did was to put up a master plan for it. So what happens when the planes started getting bigger and the 2.6 kilometer runway was too short, but there was no land available because someone had sort of like put up something on the either end of the runway. Took a long time for us to get a decision to build a new airport, considering the financial implications of the greenfield airport itself. But with that having been done, Emirates were the first ones that started operating from the old airport. They've moved to the new airport, and we've sort of like set up a team that looked at route development initiatives, and we put together a support program. We went there targeted to host world routes, which we successfully hosted in Africa for the first time, very successful. And leading up to that, there were a lot of negotiations that took place also. Obviously, we're glad to say Turkish Airlines, starting on the 5th, Ethiopian Airlines is starting on the 16th, and Qatar starting on the 17th. And there's many other negotiations that we involved in terms of promoting air access, because the main thing is about where there's competition, the price of air access then comes down and makes the destination fairly competitive. Because once you get on the ground, we are a value for money destination. I think if you look at the exchange rate between the pound and the rand, it's fairly favorable for a tourist coming from the UK. But what hasn't changed in the mind of a UK tourist is that the price of the airfare remains the same. And that's usually that's the first hurdle that usually people have to cross. And therefore, by bringing more air access, we really believe that there's going to be more competition, and therefore the competitiveness pricing of tickets, it's actually going to improve a lot.